Today I would like to share a lucid dream story with you guys, but there is just one slight problem with this story, which is that it's going to be very hard for me to actually describe what happened because it was, well, weird is putting it lightly. It was a very unusual dream because of the way that it didn't involve the normal sensory experience that I get in most of my dreams. So this is going to vary somewhat from person to person. Different people are going to find that different senses stand out to them more in their dreams. And this is going to vary from time to time as well. You're going to find that certain times you're going to have a dream that is really focused on the auditory side of things. And other times it might be much more focused on the visual side of things. That said, I think I can say that it's a reasonable assumption that for the vast majority of people, sight is probably going to be the most common sense in your dreams. It's going to be very rare that you have a dream in which you can't see the world around you, provided that you are or have been a sighted individual in waking life. But it might be more common that you say have a dream where you can't hear anything going on, or you don't touch anything, or you don't taste anything. However, just because it's not common doesn't mean that those dreams don't happen. And you are going to find that from time to time you get a dream in which your usual senses don't seem to be present in the way that they normally are. You might have a dream where you just can't see anything around you and you can hear things going on, and when you're reaching around you can touch things and it sort of feels like you've got your eyes closed. I find that this can sometimes happen when you're entering into a dream and something goes wrong with stabilization and you just lose the dream scene around you. You can still hear things, touch things, taste things, whatever, usually for a little while before the dream fizzles out completely. And perhaps a more common experience is just missing one of the other senses from your dream. It is pretty common to, for example, be in a dream and see things going on around you and feel the chair that you're sitting in, but you don't actually hear anyone say anything, you don't hear any sounds, and nothing auditory happens for the entire dream. Or you might have a dream where you can see things and you can hear things, but you can't actually feel anything. It's almost like you're watching a video of all of this happening. You might even be watching it happen in third person or from some other external perspective. Well, today's dream that I want to share with you was beyond all of that. It was a dream in which I didn't have any of my senses. I couldn't see anything, I couldn't hear anything, and I technically could feel things, but not in the usual way that you think of feeling things. You see, the way that I experienced this dream was entirely through emotion. It was like emotion was its own sense. I could feel happiness, I could feel sadness, I could feel discomfort, I could feel elation, and I could move between these feelings at will, and I could sort of will myself towards the more pleasant emotions or towards the more negative emotions, and I was just sort of experimenting with it. I would just experience a little bit of something good, experience a little bit of something bad, and I would move from one different emotion or feeling to the next. And it felt like I was moving through physical space, but just not in the usual sense. It was like I was moving through these like corridors from one emotion to a related emotion. And like the less related the emotion was, the further the distance I had to travel through other emotions to get to it. So if I was, for example, feeling happiness and I wanted to experience sadness, I had to go through all of these in-between emotions first before I could reach it. I couldn't just jump from one extreme to the other. But what I noticed was that I had this sort of secondary set of emotions that I was experiencing at the same time, like a sort of reaction to whatever the first emotion that I was experiencing was. And something that I observed was that different emotions would produce different reactions to what the emotion actually was. I don't know how well I'm explaining this, but let's say that I had a happy emotion in the first place. I would just experience that happy emotion and I wouldn't necessarily experience any reaction to it. But when I experienced a more negative thing like pain or discomfort or sadness, I would experience that and then I would have this like pleasant reaction to it. Like I was being rewarded for going through the unpleasant experience. And I experimented back and forth and I noticed that this was a constant. When I experienced something good, I just experienced the good thing and that was it, no reaction. But when I experienced something bad, I got this pleasant reaction afterwards. So it was like I endured the bad thing, but then afterwards I would get rewarded with an even better feeling than if I'd gone for the good thing. So at this point I decided to experiment with it further. I thought, okay, If experiencing a negative emotion is giving me this delayed reward, then what if I follow through with that? What if I go from negative emotion to negative emotion to negative emotion, just collecting all the little rewards that they give me along the way? And so I did that. I was moving through these corridors of negative emotions, just experiencing something quite negative that would get worse each time, but then the reward for enduring it would get bigger each time as well. And I suddenly started to actually feel somewhat comfortable with these unpleasant experiences. They were still unpleasant, but I knew that after each one I would get this reward and it would be worth it. And so I navigated through this corridor of unpleasant experiences, unlocking little rewards each time. And that was when I had a little thought, hey, isn't this kind of poetic? This is kind of what life is like in many ways. Most of the things that give us instant gratification, that give us some sort of instant reward, are just that. They give us that, but that's it. But really the biggest rewards often come to us on the other side of some sort of struggle. We have to work for them in some way. We have to go through something unpleasant, we have to do some work or whatever, to come out the other side with some sort of reward. I would use the comparison with squats at the gym. I love squats and I hate squats. I have a very love-hate relationship with them. Getting under the bar with a heavy ass weight on there is really uncomfortable and unpleasant. And don't even get me started on like doing high rep sets, like 20 rep squats or whatever. That's brutal even with a really light weight. But at the end of the day, it's also really rewarding. You do that and you feel great afterwards. Not to mention that it's just a really great exercise with a lot of carryover into a lot of areas. You're essentially trading short-term pain for long-term gain. And I felt like that's what the moral of this dream was. It was saying that in life we do go through these corridors and we can choose the quick fix, we can choose the instant gratification, we can choose the thing that feels good in the moment, but usually there is no reward after that. On the other hand, we can move towards the difficult thing, the thing that we've been putting off, the thing that we say, yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow. And most of the time, when we actually get that thing done, we are rewarded for it immensely. What about you guys? Has anyone got an interesting dream that they would like to share down in the comments below? And if you wouldn't mind me sharing that dream in a future video, then let me know that in your comment. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I'm going to give you guys a little thank you, which is a 25% off discount code for my book, The Lucid Dream Book. If you aren't familiar, the Lucid Dream Book is my complete guide to lucid dreaming. It has everything you need to know, whether you're a beginner or an advanced lucid dreamer, to completely level up your lucid dreaming experience. You can get the book at gum.co/theluciddreambook, or you can use the link in the top right hand corner right now. And you can use the code 25OFF to get 25% off. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this one, make sure you subscribe and enable all notifications so you can stay up to date when new videos come out. And if you want to keep watching, check out one of the videos on screen, go watch that, and I'll see you there soon. Take care and have some awesome lucid dreams.